Let's keep going. Okay, hello and welcome to our video blog thing. I'm Dan, I'm the founder of the Epic Family CIC, and you are?
I'm Sara.
Giggly Sara. There'll be some bloopers to come out at some point.
This is about our fifth effort to start this video without me giggling.
Yes, so we thought we would do a video because we're a bit overdue one in lots of respects. And we get asked about where we are, particularly with Epic Fostering. On a daily basis, I get a call or a message or somebody asking me at an absolute minimum of once a day where we are with our Ofsted registration for Epic Fostering. So we thought we'd do a video to kind of give an update on that, give some clarity around where we are, because we've intentionally been a bit quiet, I suppose, and also just some other updates on Epic support, what we've got coming up, and vacancies and things like that. Yes, that's what we're doing. Sounds like a plan.
There is a plan.
Yes, so, okay, so do you want to give the update, the Ofsted update?
Yeah, so unfortunately our update is we don't really have an update. This is taking a lot longer than we were anticipating. So just to remind you of some of the dates, so we put our application in January. We have had our visit from the inspectors. That happened.
No, we didn't put our application in January.
We did.
Was it?
Yes.
I thought it was last year.
No, it was beginning of January,
Oh,
6th of January.
Oh, there we go. Was it? Wow.
So we have had our visit from the inspectors. So that's the first major hurdle overcome.
And that is an update, because actually we didn't tell anybody, did we? Because we didn't want to tell anybody.
No, we were a bit anxious about it, I think it's fair to say.
we
Because it's the
were.
unknown, isn't it? You know, we've both been involved with Ofsted inspections of established services, but neither of us have had any idea what would be expected of us in a registration visit. And actually, you know, there's very little about it online, so it's really hard to research as well. But we had that on the 28th of April. That was really positive. We were told at that point there would be a delay of a few weeks while the inspectors formulated their paperwork and submitted it to their manager, who would then make a decision. We were expecting that decision sort of third week of May, and unfortunately that was delayed. So we do know now that the paperwork has finally been submitted for authorisation on the 6th of June. What we don't know now is how long this wait is. So there's nothing else for us to do. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing else for the inspectors to do. It's with the manager waiting for a decision. So the next communication we're going to have, which could be today, could be next week, could be next month, we literally don't know how long it's going to be, will be to tell us we're either registered or we're not. So that's where we're at. So as you can imagine, it's quite tricky for us, because one of the things that we have to do as part of our application is have a panel up, running, trained, inducted, ready. So we've done that. We've been trying to set up dates for panel meetings and things like that, but obviously we have to keep pushing them back. So yeah, it's really frustrating, but we're just waiting for that final phone call now. So then hopefully the next video you see from us will be us celebrating our registration.
Or crying into gin.
Or, yeah. And I don't even drink, so if I'm crying into gin, you know it's really bad. So
Well,
yeah.
it is really frustrating, because we've kind of, I guess, assumed, haven't we, at several stages along the way, from what stuff we've read and researched, and kind of the feel we've got, is that we'd have an outcome at certain stages, but it's not there. Which I guess is a good thing in some ways. And we have asked the question directly to the inspectors about timelines, and we haven't had anything back. So they haven't actually given an indication. So we honestly have no idea. No. Which, as you can imagine, is making us feel quite anxious, because we're raring to get on, and I think it's making some of our supporters feel a little bit anxious, because people keep asking us the same question.
Yeah, and I think, you know, some people are just presuming because we haven't heard it's bad news. That's absolutely not the case. We haven't had bad news, we haven't been turned down, we are just waiting, and we're aware from other organisations that have recently started, they've also had huge delays. These things are not within the timescales that they're supposed to be anymore. So it's not unusual, it's not just us. Other organisations are in the same situation. So that's all we can say at this stage. But obviously we will update you when we do know more.
Yeah, and I think because there's been this gap, we've taken a little bit of a breather, haven't we? Because in some ways it's been absolutely full on for months, sorting stuff out, and so we've taken a little bit of time for ourselves, haven't we? In some ways.
I mean, I'm nearly 5 months since I left work full time, so I'm loving my time to myself.
Bet your husband isn't though.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I've retired. But no, it will be good to have something to get back on track. So we are, although we've had some time out, you know, we are still doing stuff in the background. We're still looking at all the paperwork and all the policies and all the procedures we need and things. So we're ticking along. We're just not doing it full on at the moment, because we're trying to give ourselves a bit of a break and some energy ready for when we do start.
Yeah, which leads us into our recruitment. So we've been kind of low level advertising for voluntary board members. Those positions are still there, and I've been chatting to some people that have expressed some interest in those positions. So we're quite happy to continue talking to people about that, because we do need to fill those positions at some point. We're just not in an urgent rush for it at the moment. So if you are interested in any of those positions, they're on our website, so epicfamily.co.uk. If you go into the vacancies bit on there, there's that position. We are also getting some expressions of interest for our care experienced panel member vacancy, because that's a gap that we'd like to fill. Again, it's not urgent, which is why we're quite happy to take our time. But if you are interested in doing some panel work and you are care experienced, then we would really welcome an informal chat. And also we have been advertising our administrative support, our service support role. And we kind of got into a little bit of a panic, thinking, oh, we're going to have an answer from Ofsted. We really need to get that in place. We've slowed down a little bit on that. So our closing date that we've been advertising was today for that. We're extending it. So I've removed the closing date this morning. I have had some amazing chats with some people who've shown an interest, and we have got some applications. So we will be in touch regarding with those people. So we haven't forgotten about you. We've got some really good applicants there. But we're just taking our time a little bit with how we're approaching that, because we don't need to rush. Obviously, at the point that we do get our outcome, it'll be all hands on deck, and we will need to get on with lots of those things from a recruitment point of view. Yeah,
absolutely. Certainly in terms of the administrative support, because what we have realised over the last few months is we're not great at admin.
Well, we're all right.
I mean, we're getting there, but we need someone to do. I feel things take a lot longer than they need to with us doing it ourselves. We need someone to come and organise us, I think. So we're looking for someone to really come and sort of take the lead on those processes and stuff, aren't we?
Yeah, and I think a big part of that is because we've been wearing lots of hats. So it's been about creating marketing stuff and setting up telephone systems and email accounts and how things will work, and no it's not, because that's my business line. It will come up Ofsted. My phone's just rang and we're kind of thinking, is that an Ofsted number? No, it's not, because that's my other work line. They don't have that.
Okay. Heart attack on screen. Not that we're anxiously waiting for Ofsted to ring anything, people. Jesus. Anyway, moving on. The other thing we wanted to talk about is, obviously we launched our Epic support service a few months ago, and Dan held the first sort of support group, and that went down really well. Lots of people attended. We know we haven't really done much with them since then, but we're in a position now to start pushing those again now. So we do have one in place for the 8th of July, which is a Tuesday, and it will start at 7:45. So if that's something you would like to attend, Dan, how do people join you?
Yeah, so if you are somebody that is involved with supporting a vulnerable young person, so it doesn't have to be a child in care necessarily, so you can be a parent, an adoptive parent, a foster parent, a special guardian, a social worker. So this group on the 8th of July is open to any supporters, so some of them will be targeted to specific groups. This one isn't. As long as you are involved with supporting a vulnerable young person, then you can join for an informal chat. It starts at 7:45. It's on Microsoft Teams. If you go onto our website and click the support button, then there's a link on there to the form. It just needs your name, email address, and which support date that you're committing to. So there's a few dates on there. The next one's the 8th of July. Just fill in 2 or 3 details, and then you will get a link come through a couple of days before the actual event. So they're really chilled, they're a bit of fun, and it's about sharing experiences and signposting and just kind of having that empathic ear, really.
And networking, isn't it? Being able to join up with other people in similar situations, or sharing the skills and knowledge that's within the groups.
So it might be that you have got a particular issue that you're struggling with that we could talk about in a confidential space, and kind of help you with that. That's what it's about. As long as you're in the southwest, so it can be, as long as you're based anywhere in the southwest. So that's Cornwall, Devon, Dorset, Somerset. This is going well, bless you.
Thank you. Oh dear.
So that's epic support.
On that note, I think it's time for us to say goodbye.
Yeah. Oh, crikey.
We're going delirious.
Well, thanks for joining us. Do keep an eye on what's going on, and obviously as soon as we do get that outcome from Ofsted, we'll let you know. We have had our interview days, which we did keep quiet about, but that was purely because we thought we'd actually have an idea at the end of that day, but that's not how it works anymore, apparently. So we were mistaken. So there we go. But anyway, thanks for watching. That's a news article now flashing up. Bye.
Bye.